People are saying that Dispatch, or a paparazzi site, has caught JK through his window dating Winter. We also have a statement made by JHope and Suga, as well as alleged rumors being confirmed by a social media site. Say Dumplings is Dave Desai. Let's get into it. The first one that I want to talk about is a little bit more topical, and I think it's definitely very interesting, and something that I think is a little bit of a misuse of our technology. However, technology is going to get misused all the time. I've come across many accounts or pages that will use AI in a way that is a little bit different from what it's intended to be used as, because there are a lot of people within the community that will ask AI a bunch of questions as if the AI chatbot knows more than what everyone else could know. I don't know if this is taught in school that it should be used this way. I highly doubt it's taught in school that you should just trust an AI bot 110%. In fact, if I were to take my video transcripts, run it through AI, and have it fact check a bunch of different things, and if I were to use that script and talk to you, let's say it were to change some of the things that I've said, a lot of you guys would probably think that it was a lot of misinformation. A reason why is because these bots take the information that exists online, and so if it's reading through a bunch of fan fiction or reading through a bunch of opinion pieces, it might state an opinion or some of the fanfic as facts because that's the only information they have to base their reply on. Also, if you use AI enough, you'll also notice that sometimes if you ask it a question, it then can give you an answer, but if you clock that that answer is a little bit weird, so you ask it to specify or fact check what it just said, then it replies back with, "Oh, I'm sorry, I got this answer wrong." I think it's definitely very interesting to use AI in a way where you're trying to figure out if the BTS members are in a relationship, because it would only know what's available online. So there were people who were using it to figure out if JK was dating Winter, or if JK was dating any specific other K-pop idol. And yes, we will get into the JK and Winter dating rumors a little bit later. Now, while the AI chatbot has answered to say that JK is not confirmed in any relationships, I think it is definitely weird to use that as a reference, or even use it as part of an argument, which I've seen people do. Because let's say, for example, he is in a relationship, but the chatbot knows that this is private information and it can't be shared, or it's aware that by sharing this information, it's going to cause a huge uproar. It will essentially lie. It's trained to be a learning model, but also to be a human. So it will lie for the greater good, or what it thinks is the greater good. I want to say all this because I'm tired of people using screenshots or messages with an AI chatbot as definitive proof of what's going on in the community. A simple Google search will probably tell you if JK is dating someone or not, and if he is and it's not public, the chatbot wouldn't know anyway. And the chatbot based their answers on articles, just like how you might base your final conclusion on articles. So asking an AI bot and demanding it to give you an answer right away, you literally could have saved yourself time by just Googling it. Chatbots can also use a lot of water, which can be very wasteful and bad for the environment. All of this AI stuff is very bad for the environment. Now, if you aren't fully aware, the servers for AI are typically placed somewhere in the world. Obviously, that data center then gets accessed every time a question is asked. And every time a question is asked, it uses so much processing power to give you an answer because it scrounges around the entire internet, and then also trying to make a response sound human. And apparently the servers get really hot. So then water needs to run through the pipes to cool it down. And a lot of people have argued that the AI uses a lot of water and is very bad for the environment. I don't fully understand it. I would imagine that the water can just then be reused, but maybe it can't be, and that's the problem, right? So I'm not saying don't use AI or that it's 100% bad, because I do think that that is the future and it's going to help a lot of people. But when you're asking AI questions about the BTS members' dating life, when that can easily just be Googled, it's very much wasteful. It's wasteful of the resources of AI, it's wasteful for that water, and of course you're not going to get a real answer sometimes either. So yeah, the AI bots are not confirming any rumors. Anything that they say cannot actually be used as confirmation. It's definitely up to you whether you want to believe those things or not, but I think it's such a waste to ask them these types of questions. But sometimes really cool things can occur with AI and all of the craziness that exists with it. I recently found a story, for example, that really made me happy to be a BTS fan. But of course, I have to give some backstory here on what's going on and really talk about some of the maybe not so great things that's going on in Korea right now. There is a wildfire in Korea right now, and a lot of people have been really scared because this is definitely one of the biggest I think they've ever had, if not the biggest, or it's comparable, and it's definitely up there. Of course, so much of Korea had been set on fire. It was inevitable that the BTS boys would react, being the ambassador of their country. As of right now, we have not heard from every single BTS member. Also, every single BTS member is not obligated to do anything. So even if we don't hear from them, it doesn't mean that they don't care or anything like that. We also don't know if they're doing something privately without it being a big spectacle online. So don't make judgments if we don't hear anything from the other members. Basically, it was believed that JHope and Suga donated 100 million Korean won. I think they both made that donation as opposed to both of them totaling that amount. So I believe 200 million was donated in its entirety, which I think comes around to 140,000 US dollars. So that's a significant chunk of change right there and could definitely at least help a few people. I'm assuming most people probably have insurance, so their houses would likely be covered by this, but then it can help some people recover some of their belongings. And I would imagine 10,000 per family would be more than enough to cover their belongings, minus the sentimental stuff, of course. So that amount can definitely help around 14 families, which is huge. It can also be used to make sure the firefighters are there and getting more volunteer firefighters or other freelance firefighters, if that's a thing, to be there. Having more money can also bring more water if that's an issue that they're having. And this was so beautiful as people were freaking out about the fact that this was the first time in a while that we heard from Suga. So a lot of people were excited that he finally made an appearance. If you're curious what statement they made after their donation, let me read it right now. They said, "We hope that the ongoing forest fires will be extinguished as soon as possible. We hope that those who have lost their homes and thus facing hardships and those who are working hard to extinguish the fires will be able to return to a more peaceful daily life soon. We hope this donation can provide even a little bit of comfort and hope." So that is definitely very beautiful, and wherever the money goes towards, I think it will be a significant help. As of right now, I don't think there is any sort of GoFundMe or any sort of thing like that people can donate to, and the community could try to match that amount that JHope and Suga donated. But I will continue to look, but I couldn't find anything as of yet that I trusted, so I didn't want to recommend a website that could be a scam. So if I have that, I'll definitely post that or mention that in another video. While that is definitely a very dark topic, there are definitely less dark things going on. For example, JK was recently believed to be dating Winter. This rumor really catapulted when it was alleged that JK was at an aespa concert. I don't believe he has confirmed or denied being at the concert, nor do I think the label had really said anything. This was interesting because people then latched on to the idea that he was dating Winter, which was very interesting because there's no proof of that at all. But even more so than no proof of that, why specifically Winter? Like, he had no specific interactions with her. Not that he had any specific interactions with any of them, really, but it's just that the community seemed to have just picked one random member and decided that he was dating her, when if he was dating any of the members, there are other members to choose from. There have been a lot of posts talking about the different interactions that the BTS members have had with girls recently, girls in general. So recently, JHope with Nayeon, and even people saying that Nayeon is pregnant now with JHope's baby, and then people saying that the girl that people believed was seen with JK all these years ago, like several different girls, and all those women were allegedly just Winter. And people were also saying like that woman that was allegedly seen through a window was Winter and JK, and he was allegedly hugging her, and that is the two of them. So now people are bringing up old images or old dating rumors that were never really even proven. All of the photos were really blurry, and they're now saying that it's Winter. Now, of course, it's easy to say that because we actually don't see the faces of these women that are in the photos, so it could be anybody, right? You can attach a name to any of these pictures because there's no real face. Now, again, I find it definitely very interesting that they picked Winter, and I think maybe it comes from things like them wearing the same clothes or stuff like that, but it's definitely interesting because they would latch onto one member, and then now all of the dating rumors have shifted to completely her. Now, the original picture in which we allegedly see someone that looks like JK and a woman being intimate through a window, people were confused as to where that photo came from. So there were a lot of people who believed that that was Dispatch, or that it was some sort of company that was taking the photo, like a specific paparazzi company. However, I don't know who took that original photo, and it seemed to be more of either a fan just taking the photo or just a photo that has existed on the internet that they made it appear to be JK. So just someone maybe who had a very similar haircut at the time, who maybe could even have been a reality star, and they took that photo and then they just like super blurred it to make it appear like it could be JK. What the community does in their free time is interesting, I will say that. Let me know what you think. Make sure you check out Patreon for more videos. Link down below. Think to slowly comment right here. Love you. Bye.